Alright guys, back at it again today. Got the Acura back in here. Gonna rebuild the injectors here in a minute. Got the ECU in, so we're gonna try to get all that stuff in, put those 450 injectors in and all that good stuff, see what happens. So there you go. But first we need to add a few more stickers to the 240 here. Got some good HiRevz ones. You guys, I should probably mention this more. If you're not on the HiRevz Instagram or Facebook page, make sure that you follow us on there. If you see anything you want, feel free to buy. It just helps us out. Appreciate it, guys. This one is stuck on. That's the easy one. This is not as easy, especially not if you're just by yourself. So what I like to do is find some spots that you can line it up on each side. Okay, at the very top there, and then just kind of work it back and forth until you get it even. Just find a reference point on both sides, and once you get it kind of where it needs to be, what you can do is make sure it's good all the way around. I think that's pretty good. And then we're just going to check one last time here, make sure it's good. Oh wow, look at that. Thank you, Win. Try that again. Alright, so I got the sticker laid back down again. Hopefully the wind will try to help us. And again, here I'm going off of this spot to this spot, and then over here this is at the same there, and then from the edge of this to that, and the edge of this one to this right here. So stick one corner of it down, and then you can kind of start working your way across. Right, once you pull it tight, okay, and stick that side down, you can kind of start working your way across, and then pull this one out this way. And as you pull it out, you're just pressing down on the sticker, and that will allow it to be stuck down in line, good to go. This last part, you're just gonna pull through it. Just make sure you keep an eye on it, otherwise it'll do that on you. So you just press her down, work out any spots you got in it, make sure it's good and stuck down. There we go. Then you just want to pull up the backing here. So as you pull the transfer tape up, just gonna make sure that you watch it. Make sure that you're not pulling up any of the vinyl, because sometimes it will come back up. There's the finished project. That's all of them on now. Looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Here are those old DSM 450 injectors, and there's the new rebuild kit there. So we're gonna get working on these. First thing I'm gonna do is try to clean these up a little bit. Throw in some gloves and spray them down with some carburetor cleaner, brake cleaner, something like that, just to try to clean them up just a bit before I start taking anything apart. So I've cleaned the injectors here. They don't look a ton better, but I did clean them. The rag got really dirty, but they're definitely better. So we're gonna start tearing apart the injectors here. A lot of the stuff is missing off of these injectors. Normally you'd have your pintle cap on this one, which is on the other three. You'd have your O-ring down here at the bottom. You'd have your spacer up here, rubber spacer there, and then this O-ring is on all of them. So that O-ring, you just kind of push it off. Works out pretty easy. There you go. And then you got your filter down in there, and we'll pull that out. O-rings are on. Now we're going to use the spacer here, the fuel injector spacer, fuel rail spacer, whatever they call it. So stick it down. So got it started on there, and then just push it down into place. That's that. And then next is the pintle cap, so we'll take that off. You want to be real careful, but you can take a pair of pliers and just kind of pry this out. Just work on it just a little bit. Get it to come on out of there. This one did break. Get it on off there. Good and hard and brittle. You may just have to break it all the way off, but pull that off. Alright, so the new pintle cap, there was a lot of black crap on there, so I cleaned most of that off there, as much as it would come off. Take the new pintle cap and we'll just pop it on. So one thing you can do with a pintle cap, you'll notice that, and this is just our workbench, so we got some holes and stuff drilled in it. But if you get this thing started, push down just a little bit. That's barely started on there. If you line up the holes, you don't want to stick that needle into anything. So if you line up the hole, push down with some force here, you can get it to snap on. You might have to use 2 hands. Well, let me show you one more time. Stick it on there, and then just force it down. There it goes. So it's got a little bit more to go. And just stick it on down. There it is. Now you can see that it's fully seated all the way down. Come on now. There you go. Fully seated, good to go. Alright. Last thing to do is take your O-ring, and those just slide onto here. Just like that. So the pintle cap actually holds the O-ring on. So there you go. Now, this was a DSM kit for DSM Injectors, and supposedly to make these work in a Honda, you've got to sand down the edge of this. We're going to see kind of how they fit, and then I may have to come back and sand some down on them. But essentially, once these are on, that part is done, and the last thing to do is the little filters here. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, to get the filter out, you want to get a screw that's around the same size, a little bit smaller than the filter there, and you want to take that and put it inside your vise. Once you've got that in the vise, you can take the injector and you just screw it on here a little ways. Once that's good and on there, you just pull, work around on it, and there you go. The filter is out. So there you go. Now we just got to throw the other one in there. You want to make sure that you don't get anything down in here while the filter's out. Right, so you take the new filter, which looks just like those. Take the new one there, and I've pushed it in just a little ways as far as it would go. And then you want to take a hammer and just lightly hammer the rest of it in. There you go. Now it's good and flat and seated. So that should be good to go. And that's it. This injector's finished. So I just got to get the other ones done there. The injectors are done. The next thing we're going to work on is finishing up this downpipe here. So this is the pipe that I went and picked up yesterday. I was telling you about K&C Muffler. Like I said, if you need any kind of work done, check them out. They do some fantastic work. All I did is buy the pipe from them and the flange. They had them, and I actually welded this up. So don't look at these welds and think that they're theirs, because they do a much better job than I could ever do. But this will work for what we need, because I just need to throw this on here. So that will extend it out to right at the edge of the fender. So that should be good. Alright, so the new pipe is bolted up now. Now I'm going to install the hanger, weld it onto here, or you can clamp it. And then I'm just going to run it up and bolt it up. Alright, the exhaust is finished. And I did decide to just go ahead and clamp it just because it was just easier. So, and it's locked in there. I mean, it's on there now. So, and then I just bolted it in up here, put a lock washer on the back of it, and that's good to go. It's not going anywhere. Now it's not hanging down to the ground either, which is good. So that should work pretty good. We'll lower the car down, we'll fire it up and see if it sounds any different. All right, we're gonna fire it up. is fighting with the old injectors, trying to get those off and breaking stuff in the process. Did just get the fitting in on the fuel filter, got the gauge installed, so that's on there now. Hey, you did it.
That thing's like destroy around there.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. So this is the original Honda one, and this is the seal that goes on here. Now the DSM one, the seals that we put on were the ones that came with them, and they only go on the pintle cap. So obviously you can't use that because then it won't seal in the motor. So what you got to do is put these on here. Now obviously it's not a direct fit. It'll go because it's rubber, but we're going to have to grind out a little bit of the inside to make it fit the same, so it'll drop right down in the engine. All right, guys, so the fuel injectors are all in. We did have to grind down the inner part of the stock O-ring to make them fit down in here. You can kind of see them in there. This is the fuel pressure regulator hooking up now. We did lose a screw or a bolt or whatever, so working on that now. And as soon as we grab that, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, first crank, all new fuel system.
Alright guys, so we're taking it back apart. This injector right here will not fire at the moment, so the other three are firing. These are 12, 13 years old injectors that I've had sitting around, so I'm lucky that 3 of them worked and that one didn't. But we went through pulling off each plug, and this plug wouldn't do anything. Pulled the plug out, it was completely dry, so we do have to replace the plugs also. So we're going to yank this thing out and see if we can make it work. Alright guys, so today we got a pretty good bit done. Got the injectors rebuilt, got the exhaust pipe fixed, and got the computer in, everything hooked up, and then that one injector is just shot. So got a new one ordered, but since they're special order now for those, they said the earliest it'd be in is Monday, today's Thursday, so we gotta wait all weekend. And hopefully Monday they'll have it in, and then we'll be able to get that in there and get everything fired up and running. So that's where we're at today. All right, thanks for watching.